pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Anybody have anything they would like to have removed from the consent agenda? Okay. Any public comments at this point? Doesn't look like. And moving on to special activities, we have a recommendation to authorize the promotion of Naveed Khan to the position of probationary lieutenant effective September 17th, 2022. And we can do that now. So please come forward.
Okay, since Trustee Panel keeps up,
Yeah. Is there a motion to approve this probationary move to lieutenant for Naveed Khan?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mearsfall?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yes.
Mr. Wood, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Naveed Khan,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
required as a lieutenant of the Clear Creek Fire District,
required as a lieutenant of the Clear Creek Fire District,
Clear Creek Township, Warren County, State of Ohio,
Clear Creek Township, State of Ohio,
to which office I have been appointed
to which office I have been appointed
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my ability
and the best of my ability,
during continuance in office.
continuance of office.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And then you have the honors of turning your back on your dad. Come on up. Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much. Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Well, I've been here 10 years, and that was the fastest spending of all time.
She's hired to come back and do it more.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank
you.
Fiscal business trust.
Yeah, the only thing I've got for you tonight, sir, is part of the annual dance where we take the rates from the Budget Commission and approve the resolution, and that is here for your action this evening.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about Resolution 5387? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve 5387?
So moved.
Second. Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsfall?
Yay.
Mr. Wade? Yay. And that's it, sir. Thank you very much.
Man, you're fast.
Get it done.
All right. Moving on to new business, the zoning department.
I'll be just as fast. So, the State Route 48 properties are repeat offenders. The contested way is a new property for addresses.
Anybody have any questions for Jeff about these maintenance issues? Is there a motion to approve 5380?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Mearsfall?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade? Yay.
Only the one thing?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Impressive. Fire District have a recommendation to accept the donation of $500 from Richard Christian. The Fire District.
He was that impressed with the service we gave him, he wanted to give us an extra $500 donation.
Very nice. Very nice. Is there a motion to accept this donation from Mr. Christian?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsfall?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Well, yeah.
Hooray.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Administration of discussion of House Bill 687, capital improvements awards to subsidized pickleball courts.
As the board's aware, and authorized to do, we made application for some state capital funds through the budget cycle, biannual budget cycle, and were approved for 50% subsidy up to $100,000 for pickleball court installation at Christian Allen Park. I was sent a letter last week from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, who has been charged with managing the grant, and they gave the timeline and the basic procedures on how to certify for it, when they ask for reimbursement, that kind of thing. So we're at the point now where we're probably ready to start reaching out to different Franklin pavement contractors who will probably subcontract the painting and the fencing as part of the proposal to install those. So if the board is ready to direct me to give public notice of the bid opportunity to collect estimates for it, then I am prepared to do so at the board's discretion, and it's your pleasure.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking about that out there, and maybe we... Anyway.
It's already graded.
Nobody was here.
It's already graded for us,
and,
yeah.
and compacted.
Yes,
And
it is.
that's the right dirt in there.
Yeah, I mean, but that's been 30 years ago.
Well, I know, but we don't want some contractor saying they have to take all that out and redo it.
Right.
It should be even better.
You would think.
Yeah.
Is that fair, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
probably.
think a little bit needs to come out of there, but
Well, maybe so. Sure.
Yeah.
it's graded pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, and they won't have to bring in a bunch of dirt. It should be.
If they do, we have a little
We
bit
have
next
plenty of
door.
dirt to move if we need it.
Yeah.
Now let's build it up that way. Yeah, I mean, my perspective is, pretty well known. I think would be a great addition. I would like to be fiscally responsible as we can about it. You and I talked about that. I felt like the first thing we saw was not very realistic.
No.
So,
On that point, and if I don't mean to interrupt, but I was given an estimate today by a neighboring township in southwestern Hamilton County that you may or may not be able to guess which one it is. They are installing pickleball courts. They're going 4 of them. We proposed to do 6, but their estimate to do pretty much everything all in was about $75,000.
Yeah, there you go.
More like nickel.
More like it.
I mean,
There's some expenses.
there is, but there's not a lot to them comparatively to tennis. I mean, when you look at, it's like anything. I mean, you can make it as nice as you want or as simple as you want, but I've got friends that just put a court in, at their lake house, and they just basically put a piece of pavement down and drill 2 holes for posts, and they got a net, and that's it. So, not saying it needs to be that simple, it obviously needs to kind of blend with the park, but I don't think we need to go crazy, and I think we can stay within the confines of the money that we have.
Well, it has to be publicly bid anyway, in
Right.
light of the total project cost.
Right.
Expect, $4,000, so that should help, in theory, that should help folks sharpen their pencil for the business.
And I don't know this, pickleball courts, are they blacktop or are they some kind of?
They're usually asphalt, and then they use a special paint on them, much like tennis.
Smaller.
It's a paddle instead of a racket, and it's essentially a wiffle ball instead of a tennis ball. And the net's lower. Really shocked that you're not into pickleball yet, Chief.
It's coming.
Seems like that's the next step for you.
I've still got a moment of mobility about me, so.
Well, I mean, and to that point, I don't know if anybody saw it this weekend, there was a huge tournament
Yes.
at Kings Island at Western and Southern.
Correct.
And it's not just for people that are slowing down. I mean, it's
Billy
competitive
Dan-
as well, so.
Billy Danish said he's third out in his plan.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was here
Brooklyn
playing.
was playing, and they were expecting him to win, but he's won national
He's,
championship.
yeah, he's pretty good.
My nephew.
Yeah, Ed's nephew's,
He's 50, probably almost 60.
he's almost 60.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal. When he turned 60, he said, I'd
It's
really.
a new division.
Yeah, he gets to play against all.
He'll become, he'll become the Arnold Palmer of,
Yeah.
over 60 set.
Yeah. But anyway, well, I certainly think we should move forward with it, particularly with, since we got the opportunity to give some money. Share with it, I'd like to see it. I think it'd be great. You know, when we built that park, we all have always said, and I, maybe I regretted this, we do, we would not put lights out there, but sometime I think we need to rethink that and maybe start to ask, have a meeting and ask the individuals that live out there. And really, we did it because they asked us not to. Maybe that they might have changed as they've seen how that park has developed. And I don't know what you guys think about that, but, you know, if people play pickleball outside all winter. And then with them, gets dark at 5:30, you have a short time to play after work. You have to get out of work early. Anyway, might want to think about that too, sometime in the future if we want to tackle that.
Maybe you can put that as a bid off, you know, as an additional option thing to bid.
You know, I don't think I would do that until we talk to the people out there.
Yeah.
They'd be coming out with us, maybe not. I think, you know, I think the park's so popular now. And, you know, when we started that, nobody knew how much it was gonna be used.
True.
And people around did come in, and they were concerned about if we were gonna put lights in, because there didn't want lights at night. Well, obviously, it's good lights at night. But anyway.
They won't lights during the day either, but that was for a different reason.
That's right. Okay, well, is there, Steve, you got any comments? Is there a motion to direct administrator to pursue this project and apply for the grant? Maybe we did.
Yeah, we've got the money.
Notice to bidders.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then just put it out for bid, what you need to do to keep it moving. Is there a motion to do that?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. Okay. We have a discussion about the music place hydraulics.
Hydraulics report.
Yeah.
So I sent that to the board last week, and I had it for a week or two. At the end of the day, the recommendation from the civil engineer that did the modeling on it was that we were to increase the size of the structure underneath music place to try to alleviate some of the issues, which triggers a number of concerns for me as well as for the downstream property owner, Mr. Gray, who a third of his yard is probably located in Zone A already. That's on the subdivision plat from 20 years ago. A third of his yard. He, much like Dr. Coleman on the south side of Music Place, takes an awful lot of water, although he didn't get any intrusion into his basement like Dr. Coleman got several times. And the Hovenars got back in 2017. But his concern, and I think it's a legitimate one, is increase the size of that pipe. You're going to move more water faster, and you're going to put more on him, and he's already at risk of it. Basically, he's almost up to his patio in his yard right now, which is where Zone A line is drawn on the subdivision plat. But the Zone A line is a 1% chance in 100 years it's moving more water than that. So, I think what Ryan and I have discussed at some length is, I think we probably want to get in there on either side of the pipe and do a bit of channelization to line the pipe up correctly and to clean out a little bit of the vegetation to see if that does anything, making sure that we stay in the right of way, of course.
Before Before we
entertain.
move forward with the larger
any,
events.
you know, response. I do have it queued up to speak to the county engineer's office about it this week. Kurt tried to, set up a meeting, last Friday, but I wasn't here. But, it got the engineer's office attention when I sent it to them as well. So, we will obviously do that in consult with the engineer's office when looking at the study, but I wanted to at least put it out here in the public meeting for discussion with the board, try to get your direction on how we want to go.
If there's something we can do.
I have
to
pictures.
Help the situation out.
This is standing in the pipe. That's the inlet side, comb side. We're only utilizing this much of the pipe. This all needs cleaned out. I'd like to clean it out, 30 foot back, all the vegetation, and pull this over here and realign the stream. This is looking at the pipes, all the water's hitting right in this area.
This is just creating a pond.
Well, it's swirling in there, so it's.
Yeah,
it's just like this.
Eat it up.
So it's just gonna keep going. This is looking out towards the outlet. That needs rock in it, that's not a big deal. But 50 foot downstream, you have this mess. This is a 3-foot pipe, or a 12-inch pipe, and when the first time I looked at it, it was all the way across the top, so.
It used to be a land bridge. I actually walked across it in 2017. I took the left of it.
On a 7-foot pipe, you're only moving half the water because of that.
So is it still
It's
used?
still there. I just took these last week.
Is it still used for any kind of traffic?
Well, the guy originally put it in there to get across to his other yard, other section of his property.
Yeah, the fellow that lives to the east there, his name is Schlise. He actually owns Schleiss. He owns both sides of the creek, or I should say the unnamed tributary. But I think Gray maintains it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So, that we would probably need Schleiss's consent to pull it out of there, and I'd like to get it in writing, and I will work with the law director to get a waiver of liability from the homeowner, the property owner, to pull that out. But that is just an obstruction right there, that's going to have to go back and water up.
I think we can alleviate 85% of the problem, maybe more.
I think it's worth a try.
And I'm gonna need permission from the other side too, to get down in there and visit.
Right.
But you can stand in the ditch, I mean, the ditch is only this wide, maybe. Just gonna widen it, open the mouth up a little bit.
So, here's my trepidation is in the form of upstream. What we just ended up having to do with Pekin, which is attributing to this. That's where this water's going, essentially, is it not?
On the back side of the guy's house, this isn't the same water. It is, but it's not. That creek is on the back side of the guy's house. What's that guy's name? On the outlet side?
No.
Schleiss and Gray.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what we already did out on Pekin. The first house
Right.
on,
Bell Terrace.
Bell Terrace, yeah.
Oh, several years ago?
Yeah, so I'm all for doing this. My concern is this just turn into we just keep going downstream. I mean, is this a bigger, and, you know, I was thinking about this as I read through Mr. Coleman's email, or Dr. Coleman, excuse me. And my grandfather used to have the engineer's office come out about every 5 years and clean out Bull Run. And they would do that, they'd come and do Clear Creek too. And Ryan will tell you what kind of shape Clear Creek's in at this point, by where our park property is, it's horrible. Bull Run has now come out of its banks multiple times, gone straight around an S curve. So I'm just wondering, as a long-term maintenance look, this continues to be a challenge. And I don't see it getting less of a challenge as we add more watershed.
So you're thinking maybe we should try to get the engineers to the county to come out and do this?
And have a bigger conversation about, you know, let's examine this entire watershed, because we know what happened when the big water hit. The backup at Heatherwood is what caused this damage to start with. And that's how far away? I mean, it's crazy how fast that can happen.
What would probably make sense would be, if the county is going to be responsible for replacing that culvert financially, let's go ahead and clean the vegetation out, do that, but, you know, while we have the study and it's on them, let's go ahead and make it right and make it even better by cleaning the vegetation out.
Based on the size of it, I'm not entirely sure who's financially on the hook to revisit the conversation that you and I had over the phone earlier today. I'd have to look into that a little bit deeper. Because we are going larger with this structure if we were to do anything with it. So that may trigger maintenance responsibility of the county engineer's office. If we do a 10-foot box culvert, I'm not going to suggest it. So, Bell Terrace is upstream from this particular location.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out, that watershed, because I know it comes off the farm field.
Yeah.
And then it goes down, but I thought that all went back through Paul's property and connected with this too.
All
Music owns the land behind the
14
cul-de-sac.
acres behind,
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah, well, his family does.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking the water was going the other way, because that's
I
the
think
way
Bell
that...
Terrace in that area is in this watershed, if I remember looking at the prints correctly.
Well, then it's going the other way.
Now it flows north into Clear Creek, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But Bell Terrace is south of this location.
Right, but we fixed that, so now that water's coming to this spot. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, the water from Bell Terrace is going down into this spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's flowing. Bell Terrace is
It's a
flowing
natural
to
flow.
this.
Yeah. So we fixed that, and now the pressure's been put on this as the next spot where the water stops. That's my point. Where does that end?
I think I'd be more concerned about further downstream than upstream. But,
I'm more concerned about where it's backing up. And if we fix this, is the next phone call from Randy Leaks, and then, that's what I mean, to look at the, I mean, I know you and Scott at the time, I think, walked the entire thing.
yeah,
It's been a lot of years since I've gone all the way back up through there, so.
with all due respect, Mr. Lease had a pretty sizable blockage in the creek on this property too. And that was communicated to him.
How'd that work out?
And I digress. And I digress.
So, with the board's blessing, I can ask Brian and his guys when time allows to do something there. Of course, we will have the conversation with the engineer's office, a larger conversation about the maintenance of and health of the creek and why it's not done the way it once was.
And we, I hate to say it, but it sounds like we need a bigger, newer hydrology study to say 100-year rain events, because we've had 6 of them in the last 4 years. So,
Yeah.
I've read the Old Testament, I'm not totally sure if everybody else has. Makes me a little nervous. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at when you really look at the long term, all the way down to where it hits Clear Creek is exactly on the township's property. And there's erosion the whole way for instances just like this in the different areas of it, so.
Yeah, there's countless spots where the
Adam Reedy told me that
walls are being eroded.
we've probably lost close to an acre of ground in Clear Creek's erosion.
Our law.
Well, it's gets here, that piece,
Yes.
yeah, where it turns,
Yeah.
so, you guys were back in there, weren't you? Yeah.
Almost.
So we'll use some of this dirt for that?
Yeah.
Did Adam stabilize any of that with larger chunks of material?
I haven't been back there.
He said he was going to last year.
I know they talked about doing some netted rock. I mean, it needs more than dirt.
Yeah, dirt will just go way next.
Yeah, you're just putting a Band-Aid on a porthole. So, I think Pacheco should get a check on it.
That'll do a lot of good.
So with board's blessing, we'll have Brian do a little bit of channelization work.
Yes, sir, we can do like there and help it out, and I think Jason's got the right idea. If we can get the engineer out there and get him committed, I know it's a rough thing to think about doing that, because he won't commit to many things, projects like that, but he won't.
If it's just simple,
He was probably doing that when he was working for the previous engineer, and they probably did that on a regular basis. Neil's been down there for 40 years.
we were losing farm ground, I mean,
Sure.
still are. Now it's ours. So,
Yeah, you can talk to him. Give her stuff. Maybe he'll be interested in doing that. Okay. Good luck with that. That'd be
telling Pete's running our gas
without.
Surely. Red season's almost over. He's got time.
Anything else?
No, that's not.
Okay. Police district?
I don't have anything. I've got a small update on Eric. I would like to use the word progressing cautiously, I guess. He's not regressing. They actually had to go into his brain to deal with that last hole they found and plugged it. They're starting to prop him up a little bit at a time, because after the first time they propped him up was when it refilled after that first surgery. So they've got him sitting up now. He still has the tubes in his head to deal with the issue of the air, but it's not getting any worse, is what the doctors say. He's awake and alert. He's eating, having trouble with his broken jaw still, and eating. Now he thinks he's been in a car crash. He's back to being a little bit confused on that stuff. So he's still got a long way to go. And I can just hope and pray. So.
Wow, well, that's semi-good news.
Yeah.
That's fine. Anything else at this time, Chief?
No.
Okay. Road department?
I don't have anything.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yeah.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yeah.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. Staff up.
Do have a few things, I don't know if you've had a chance to check review in the last few hours, but I sent you a few things on, two things in particular. The county engineer's office, Kurt Weber, with the engineer's office called this week about this, they intend to vacate the former right-of-way where Red Line 5 widened to Funnel Hill, instead of now it's got a curve, so they're just gonna leave that a tenth of an acre to, Stephanie,
Right.
River,
Yeah.
who lives right there, is bounded by the freeway, is Red Line 5, on Mile 5. And I don't anticipate the board would have much issue with that, but, her driveway is actually running through that.
I was gonna say.
Other now, so useless as far as.
They're maintaining it anyway, so.
He wanted to let me know and see if the board had any opinion on it, one way or the other, which again, I said.
Exactly.
They do intend to sell the land on which the old schoolhouse sits. There's about an acre left there, so it probably is a buildable lot. Nice tree regs. Good luck with the leach line, but, anyway. He did say they probably intend to sell that for just an FYI. I don't see any reason why we would need it. We took what we needed from the engineer's office for it.
Well, I think we want to see it. Maybe the
She's a teacher,
Maybe they'll buy it, maybe they'll price
She
it.
had indicated
She'd have
a
interest.
willingness to buy it.
yeah.
Hopefully interest, enough interest, and they price it right. I expect they will. So we've got very much guys. Like you say, it might probably won't work anyway. That's that dirt in the corner's not very good.
Yep. Also got a letter from the city of Springboro about a development that sounds like it's likely to happen at the, called Bailey Farms. Bailey Farms on the west side of Red Line 5, just south of Lower. It's about 80 acres there. They sent a preliminary design with it. It's not real sexy. Probably a third of that land is in flood zone also. So they're maximizing the buildable land that's farthest east and north. It sounds like it's going to be about 130 homes. And if it is that number, they're going to be quarter acre lots.
Okay, I'm sure they
So,
are.
that's how the map shakes out anyway on
Didn't your note say there's about 45 acres of open space or
Yeah.
something because
Of
of
the
all the
80 acres,
floodplain?
there's 45 acres. of
So
open
essentially the
space.
gravel pit,
Mm-hmm.
and then the wooded area.
Which leaves 35 roughly to build on.
Build 100.
Just over a million.
Checkerboard.
Back within.
Worse than checkerboard, like a piano.
Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be opinionated neighbors on that one, particularly our neighbor to the east side of the road. One thing that did come up is that we do have maintenance responsibility where they intend to put the entrance, the eastern entrance to the subdivision, so it may be time to ask the city to take over road maintenance for that particular stretch of road.
Don't they already do RL5 from the corner up?
We do it from Lower to Springboro.
They do it already?
Yeah, that's county road. Lower Springboro to Springboro Road is county road.
So we don't pick up until.
We don't pick up until we get on down to the next stop sign.
Okay.
You might wanna tell Dennis that.
Dennis,
West?
West.
why was he on it?
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me. He probably-
I wonder, cause I know that somebody, I thought the city did the RL, Springboro Road, oops.
He probably thought it was too tall.
Well, it was, because I mean, that's a challenge that I have living on Springboro Road, is that we're kind of the afterthought, because we're really far north.
Right.
So,
Come out where I live, they've only mowed out there once this year.
So anyway, we got that notice from the city today, so just be aware of it, and if the board does wish for me to have any testimony for their public hearing on Wednesday, let me know.
I can't imagine that the neighbors, I know there's some trepidation already from people in Creek, so, second time I've used that word tonight, by the way, I'd like credit for that.
Triple word score.
Yeah, triple word score. I know the people, because if you looked at it, it connects into Creekside. So that's the other way in, way out.
Yeah, there's a street stubbed in Creekside right now.
But there's a lot of family that is across the street from the people that are selling it. So I can't imagine they're gonna have a leg to stand on as far as concern. I'm not crazy about it, because I drive that road every day, but multiple times, but it is what it is.
I wish it wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that's nothing to do with that.
No, they annexed it a long time ago with this
Yeah,
very thing in mind,
absolutely.
Speaking of putting more load on the creek.
Yeah.
right there. And that'll be city water.
Be advised.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody have anything else on staff?
You guys look for a work session on the 26th.
This one.
Maybe it's hard, for me. What day is that?
It was just for, if there's a better date and time, I was willing to do it.
That's okay with me.
I'd rather do it the next Monday, the third, but,
There for the 9 o'clock meeting.
Yeah, we would be here for that.
oh, so we would just tie it to that?
Correct.
Okay, that's fine.
I've got a 12 o'clock in Dayton on that day, we'll be able to get out of there.
I'll get you out of here
Yeah, I'm good with
by,
that.
I'll get you out of here by at 11.
Okay.
Make sure you make your
If
appointment.
not, we're gonna leave anyway.
Well, there's that.
Just be ready.
I think we're all.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah. Exactly.
See you folks.
So the last thing that I had, okay, well, tentatively, so that's
That's fine.
That's good, yeah.
And the last thing I had, I don't typically like to do this, but we do need to call an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G2 to consider the purchase of property for public purposes, if the board is willing to do so right now, after anybody else has okay.
You guys have time to do it?
Sure.
It'll be quick.
Okay. Guys have anything else?
I just want to let you know about the open house that'll be October the 2nd at 1 o'clock at Station 21. If you'd like to come.
Got it in my calendar already.
This is October 6th, you said?
Second.
Second.
October the 2nd at 1 o'clock.
I get to drive the new truck, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I went down for the.
It's insured.
Yeah, I saw you were there for the roll-in. I couldn't make it down. My new job, I'm on Teams meetings more than I'm doing anything else. I'm gonna have to get a new picture. So I don't like to be live.
Anything else? Anybody have anything else? Okay, is there a motion to recess the regular meeting and enter into executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
The regular meeting at 6:30.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.